Good morning everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. I'm back with Trashcraft Tuesday and I've got something that's a little scary. It could go totally pear-shaped on me, but at the same time I'm quite excited. What I've done was I took a box to my neighbours and asked if they would collect in it for me trash. So anything they were throwing out that was paper, cardboard or fabric related, or some types of plastic packaging, but generally not plastic. So I took that over and they were more than happy to comply with my bizarre request. Didn't even ask what it was for initially. And I says, just let me know when it's full. It wasn't a huge box. So she rang me, texted me and said it was ready to pick up. So I picked it up last week. And apart from a little peek in the top, I've refrained from digging into it because I wanted to do that on camera so that you could explore with me and see what inspires me out of the box to make something with. Now this is where it could go wrong. I might not be inspired at all. It might not be suitable. I don't know. So let's just dig into this box and see what we find. So obviously the stuff on top is easy to see. So we have a cereal box and a game, some sort of game box. They've got a young boy, so this must have been for him. It's a really nice sturdy cardboard actually, and I really like this window here, but I can't immediately think of what I might use it for. This is quite fun, I must say. This is a bit of packaging from a car sponge by the look of it. Very similar shape or size to the tear-off strips from the tissue boxes. So I might make a altered paperclip with that one like I did in my last Trashcraft Tuesday. But I'm looking for something new for today. And look at this. Oh, I love this. Yay, ribbon. Beautiful organza ribbon. I do like organza ribbon. It's really nice as a closure for journals and things. So there's some pink and black. So I have a feeling it might have been someone's birthday. Oh, there's a wee short bit. That's some ribbon. So I'm just going to pop that to the side because I'm very unlikely to use that for Trashcraft Tuesday. And I've got a cute little tea box. That could be quite a cool little storage thing decorated up actually. So I'll have to give some thought there. I might end up having to pause the video while I think about what I do, but we'll find out. Somebody's had some chocolate. We've got some chocolate gold wrapper of chocolate. So that's really nice to add to collage actually, that foil. And then some wrapping paper. That's quite cool. I haven't seen anything like that before. Very tropical sort of flowers in a copper background. That's quite pretty. And then another bit of wrapping paper. Now I did pull this one out when I got the box because I could see a bit of it. And it's super cool. Hopefully you can see that. It's like a vintage style with these like mandala in the background, sort of stylized. Some postage stamps. What I'm guessing is French chateau. Yeah, I would say it's French text. And then these nature pictures. So there's a bird there, there's another bird up in the top corner here. Same bird facing different direction with a different stamp. Get the word out, Belinda, get the word out. And I just think that's super pretty. So that'll be fun to use in something. I'm just going to pop those to the side as well. Oh, look, we've got more chocolate wrappers. Oh, jelly tip block. Never had one of those. And I can smell it too on the wrapper. Okay. another bit of this wrapping paper. So that's cool. And we've got another little tea box. Yeah, I think they'd be super cute as little little canister type things to store bits and pieces in. Oh, yet another tea box. Gosh, they must drink quite a bit of tea. This one's a different tea, different style box. That could make quite an interesting long journal cover with quite a thick spine. Okay. I can't say I'm particularly inspired yet, like there are lots of possibilities, but I still don't have in mind a project. That would make a cool journal cover. Just cut it down a bit, maybe even 2 journals. Lots of boxes, which is cool. And a crusket box. Okay, I'm getting quite a precarious pile on the desk in front of me. I've got some shopping bags, which is cool. You know I love a bit of brown paper, and I can make journal covers out of those as well. What else have we got here? We've got a magazine. Family Times. I've never seen this magazine before. Oh, that looks like it could be good for harvesting some images out of. Oh, bees. Little bees. I can cut those out for my bee journal that I'm going to be working on soon, I hope. So that's cool. I'm going to be taking some pictures out of that. And then there's a pile of all the same, it looks. Catalogues. Junk mail. So not sure about those. They'd be good for gluing on, if nothing else. Okay, and some more junk mail. Oh, this one looks interesting. I haven't seen this one before either. It's about writing for children. And it looks like there's some cool poetry, some cool hand-drawn art. So I'll dig into that a bit later. And then some more junk mail. Okay, and what else? I'm getting down to the bottom of the box now. Oh, these are cute. Got some little packaging labels, clothing labels. That's cool. Oh, that one's really thick. Looks like it was a pair of earrings. They're cool. They're always fun to use in things. Oh, this is exciting. A calendar, an old calendar from last year that's of the town I'm from. I've never seen this either. So this, oops, there's some Velcro dots in there. Might be able to use those too. Gosh, full schedule written in there. There's Wickpass Railway. It's a touristy type attraction in the next town up. Oh, this is exciting. I'm going to have to put this aside and have a really good look at it when I've got some time, because that'll be fun. I've lived in the same town all my life, so it's special for me, and seeing that calendar, it's like, ooh, exciting. Right, now I need to decide on what I'm going to do for Trash Craft Tuesday. And what is really appealing at the moment is this muesli bar box. I'm just going to put these other things back in the box beside me so I've got more space on my desk. Oops, bang, crash. Right, put those, take a little sip of my coffee. Right. So I've got this muesli bar box. I'm just going to start by opening it up. Now, if I make 2 journals out of it, then I want to keep the side spines, what will be the spines, intact. So I am going to, normally I would cut one of them off and leave one attached, but this could be a bit tricky. I've never tried to keep both intact at the same time, because that makes it a little trickier to cut the box. So I'll start where I can. So I'll trim off the top bit and this little bit here. So I hope everyone's having a good day on this Tuesday. It's supposed to be really cold all this week. So yesterday it briefly got up to 7 degrees and then sort of most of the day was around 5 degrees. And it's supposed to be quite similar today. So yes, it's a bit chilly. Right, now I need to try and cut the bottom off. This, I'm presenting myself with a challenge. I'm not sure how to go about this. Just going to see. I mean, with something like this, you don't have to be precise. You don't have to get it exactly in half. You could have one smaller than the other. I just want to get an idea. So it's 6 3/4 inches. Oh, and Snuggles would like out. I'm going to have to pause you while I let Snuggles out. Just a moment. Okay, it was actually Georgie who wanted out, and Snuggles is now the only cat that's inside. So sorry for the interruption. Right, so 6 3/4 inches. So, I'm thinking I won't do complete halves because that's, I can't be bothered working out the math. So, sorry, I'm just busy trying to process how I'm going to attack this little project. So I've got to find somewhere where I can draw a mark where I can see it. Oops. A bit slippery trying to hold the ruler in place. So I'm busy thinking too about signatures for this journal. I'm thinking maybe 2, possibly could go to 3. I'm just hoping this is straightish. So I've definitely made one side bigger than the other, and that's fine. Now I hopefully will be able to cut away this bottom bit that we don't need. It is perforated, but oops, well that went a bit wonky. Not the easiest thing in the world, but I'm determined. Right. Oops. Right, now I think, yeah, cooking with gas, as they say. Away and running. I feel like I make everything look so far more complicated when I'm doing it on camera than what it actually is or what it needs to be. So don't be put off, just give it a go. What can you lose except a bit of packaging? At the end of the day you can just throw it on the fire or put it in the recycling bin if it doesn't work and you haven't spent heaps on supplies that you feel like you've wasted. Okay, that bit's quite thick. I think it will be okay though. Just might take off that tab there. And same here, although this one doesn't feel like it's glued as well on the side. It's open there, so this one's got a little dip in, but that's not going to matter. Just going to glue that down because it looks like it wasn't even glued to begin with. I'm just using my tacky glue to go in here and put some glue in. bit of ripped card off. Give it a good press down. Right. Kind of thinking that could be interesting to do something along those lines with the front pieces that flap open. But I wouldn't do it with this box because it's too wide, I feel, for doing that. But yeah, interesting. Right, so I went 3.5 inches on this side, so I'm going to flip it over and measure the same on the inside, so I can cut the 2 halves. 3.5 and 3.5. And I'm just going to use my craft knife now to cut that. Right, so now we have 2 little journal covers, naked journal covers. It's a little bit messy on there, so I might trim that up and make this one a little bit shorter, because yeah, it's looking very chewed on, I guess you could say. So I'm just going to straighten, and probably the other edge as well. So this one's going to be a smaller journal in both directions. So it would be nice to get a pair of matching journals, but I'm just using waste, so like it doesn't matter. Right, to cover these, you could use a number of things. You could use fabric. It's actually been a while since I've done fabric. Maybe I should do a fabric one, because I haven't done that for ages. I've usually used scrapbooking paper. So I'll go back to what I was saying. You could use fabric, you could use scrapbooking paper, you could use brown paper packaging. The sky's the limit, really. You could collage all over it and then seal it with something, or not, depending what you're going to use it for. You could use wrapping paper. My good friend Lydia, she quite often covers her journals with packing tape, and that's what I did with my Junk Journal July journal, which I don't have at hand at the moment. I've popped it away since I finished it, and it's actually quite nice. I like the feel of it and the look of it. Right, so that's better. That's made me happy being all straightened up like that, and this one I think will be fine. Just might put a bit more glue on this one as well, just so that spine doesn't fall apart on me. Oops, trying to get the nozzle down in there. So I might pop you on pause again and go and find a bit of fabric to cover, because I think since I haven't done it for a while, that would be a cool thing to do. And there's a lump of the original glue in under there, which is not feeling so nice. It's like hot glue or something. So I'm going to actually take that completely apart, get rid of that manufacturer's glue, which is leaving that yucky lump, and just check the rest of it for any, so it's like hot glue. It's all lumpy and hard, and it hasn't been glued very well, so there's just a few spots and leaving hard lumps. Right, that should be better. Right, so I'm going to throw a bit more glue on it now that I've done that. Oops, open the glue first, helps. Yeah. Oops, getting glue everywhere. Now try and line it back out because it doesn't go all the way to the other side, and it goes partially. Right. Right, there we go. I'm just going to pop you on pause again and I'll be back. Sorry, I just realised it dips down. I might have to straighten this one as well. Anyway, I'm going to put you on pause, grab some fabric. I'll trim this up when the glue's dried when I come back. So, won't be long. Okay, back again. Sorry, this is turning into a video of interruptions. Right, I've grabbed out a couple of bits of fabric. I have quite a stash of upholstery and curtain type fabrics. Both of these are sample bits. So there's this lovely sort of velvet piece that I grabbed that I thought would be super lovely and textural. It's soft and yeah, super lovely and very vibrant, which is quite nice. There's a little bit of mark there where the sticker came off, but hardly noticeable. And then this piece, which I believe is probably curtain type fabric, and this is a larger sample, and you can tell the samples when they've got this paper sort of edging on, as this one does. So this one's come out of a waterfall style sample book where you flip up, and this one probably something similar but just larger scale. So I thought I'd do one in this and one in the green. I did, while I had the camera on pause, I did trim off the dips in this one so that it's all nice and straight, or hopefully straight. And I'm going to do this one. Now I have tried to take off this paper edging, but it's super stuck on, and all I can do is take off like the top layer. So I think I'm going to have to leave it, and hopefully it doesn't make it too bulky or unworkable. And also on this edge there's like a sticky patch where it was attached into the book, and I'm just going to trim that off because it is wider than I need it to be anyway. So we'll go about there. Oops. Yeah, you can tell these are not fabric scissors at all. I don't know where my good fabric scissors are. They've been lost for many a year. They had fabric only written all over them by my first husband, because he was afraid that he would accidentally use them. And yeah, I just haven't seen them for years. I don't know where they've gone. Okay, I'm going to trim up these little threads on this end. Now for attaching fabric, my favourite thing to attach fabric with is gel matte medium, but I am currently out of it, which is possibly why I haven't done fabric covers, apart from sewing them. Why I haven't done fabric covers for a while. So I'm going to use my premium craft glue, which is also really good with fabric. So I'm going to start by just putting glue liberally all over my cardboard. So it's probably not particularly thrilling watching me glue, but here we go, it won't take too long. I really like this glue for fabric. It doesn't tend to show through, particularly not thick fabrics like the one I'm working with now, but it also dries quickly and it holds really well. It is an alcohol based glue, so there is an odour with it, and I have found, you know, a day of using it has left me with a headache because I kind of haven't really realised that the fumes of it have got to me over a course of the whole day. But generally nowadays I'm just using it here and there rather than all the time, depending what I'm doing, of course. Right, now I haven't put that on straight. It's not going to matter. Here we go. Maybe can I move it slightly, maybe? Yeah, I think I've just, oh, a smidge maybe. Okay, now I'm going to trim the corners, and I'm going to cut. I'm trying to think whether I did this with fabric. Yes, I did. I did cut the corners. I'm going to cut to the corner, so just above the corner, so not right to the cardboard, but just a little, like a millimetre or two out from it, and then switch it round and then cut to meet it. Now I don't know why this works. Rather than cutting straight across, which is what I used to do, doing it this way seems to work better for some reason. It seems to have less of a gap at the corner than what I was getting when I just cut straight across. Sorry, and I'm probably off camera as well. I have no idea why it would make an effect, because you're effectively doing the same thing just in 2 stages, and maybe it's something to do with the angle, because doing it this way you do different angles rather than doing a straight across angle. And yeah, it must have something to do with that, I think, the angle that you're cutting on. I still do end up with gaps in the corners quite frequently, which is another reason I like to use book corners. Plus they just look really cool and finish off a journal, I feel. Now, instead of going from the other direction, I'm just going to alter my angle and do another cut. So sometimes I do it this way. I'm tempted to keep these little offcuts, but I'm just going to pop them in my pottle for now, just so they're not running around my desk. Right, there we go. Right, now I'm just going to go in, and this time I'm going to put the glue on the fabric so that I get the glue where I need it to be. And when I'm gluing with whatever I'm working with, whether it's scrapbook paper or fabric, I always do the opposite sides and then the other pair of opposite sides. So generally I start with the longest side, so the top and the bottom. I glue those down, so you'll see in a sec what I mean. Oh, it is such a beautiful colour. It's not a colour I'd normally gravitate to, but I'm quite enjoying, you know, I like to do things differently sometimes, so going with a bright, vibrant colour like this is fun. And it's going to be such a tactile cover, which is really, really nice as well. Okay, so I did the top and the bottom, and then I'll go in and do the sides, and I think it just gives it an even result when you're doing the opposites, instead of doing like this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. Yeah, I feel this gives a much nicer finish. So I do have little gaps at the corners, and that's fine. I will put book corners on, and I'm going to have to use my big book corners. I've got 2 different sizes, and this will require my bigger ones because the little ones won't fit on. Oops, I've got some here in my glue nozzle. Just need to grab a tissue and wipe that off. Oops, now sticking my finger in the glue. Good one. Right, this is quite a thick fabric. It's the thickest one I think I've tried using, so it'll be interesting to see. It seems to be coming apart a little bit, but hopefully the glue will hold it together. Be interesting to see how it affects the journal, whether it's going to be a bit too chunky or not, whether it will fold okay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Right, just going to slide some glue in under there as well where it's lifting. The backing is lifting. It's interesting that if I had noticed sooner, I might have been able to remove the backing and relieve some of the bulk of the fabric. But there we go. It's down now. And I'm thoroughly sticky again. So it's like a repeat of yesterday where I want to just sit and pick off the glue off my fingers. Right, so that's the outside of our cover. Now I resist folding it until that glue has had a chance to set, because if you fold it now it's going to pull on that glue and it's going to shift it, and then when you lay it flat again it's all going to bunch up, which is not a preferred look. Well, I don't think it's a preferred look. Right, so while that's drying I am going to think about what I'm going to pop in here. See if I can find a bit of scrapbook paper that will work with this green. So that could be an interesting challenge. Maybe a neutral one might work. So this paper pad I'm looking at, it's called Blossom from Grace Taylor. Again, I don't know whether it's currently available or not. Yeah, I think I might go with that neutral grey. It's got some flowers on it, but it's all tones of grey. Sorry, it's not an easy way to do this. There we go. Right, just make myself a bit of room. Okay, and I'm just going to roughly measure where I want it. And actually, first I better look at the direction of the paper. It actually goes that way. So I'm going to mark where I want to trim it up. So about there and there. So I'm going to grab my craft knife again for this and line up that wee pencil mark I made on one of my grid lines on my cutting mat. And it goes to about that line, just before that line, so that's where I will stop cutting. Now I'm going to switch this around and use the square end of my ruler to make sure that I'm cutting straight, because normally I like a beginning and an end mark to make sure I'm cutting straight. But because my paper's too big for the cutting mat, I'm just going to use that square end and go to about there and hope that it's straight. And switch around the second pencil mark I had, again lining it up on my grid. And trying to make sure, whoops, just made a hole in the paper, be fine. Trying to make sure that it's straight as I can. Okay, so pop that aside, grab back my cover, and that's going to sit in there. So yeah, it's a bit lumpy bumpy because of the layers of fabric underneath, but I think that just adds to it. It's a handmade journal, and I'm just going to use this glue again, the premium craft glue, because it is sticking down on top of fabric. I'm sure the tacky glue would work well as also, but I just know that this is reliable, gives me a really good hold. So the wee hole I made with the craft knife falling on is really noticeable on the white, but I'm sure you won't even be able to tell on the grey side. Okay, I think that wants to be my front cover, so I'm going to make sure that I glue it the right way up, that I would like it. And again, I want to give this a chance to set and dry in place before I try folding. So there we go, we have a cover for a journal. So while that's drying, I'm going to grab this other fabric and we'll do the same thing with the other bit of cardboard. So two little journal covers from one box. So this is quite a light fabric, certainly compared to the velvet. It's got some really nice pinks and reds and tawny or taupe colours and some teal. Really pretty. So that'll be fun colours to work with as well. Right, this has no direction, this fabric, in terms of the pattern, so I can just plop it down and cut it whichever way I like. And I am just looking at the creases, so trying to get a piece where there's less creases. So I might actually switch it around and go with this piece, because there's less crease here. Yep, that should work well. So I'm just going to cut along this crease here, just inside of it. Yeah, seriously need to think about getting a new pair of fabric scissors. So that I can do this a bit more easily. If I try and take a big chomp, this just mangles it. Right, and I'm going to cut off this paper tape off of this one, which that's probably off camera, so I'll bring it forward. Because I've got enough fabric here that I don't need to use the bit with the paper tape on. And that would be super cool in a cluster, so definitely keeping that bit. And about here. I also can't find my pinking shears. I've got a couple of pairs of pinking shears, and I'm not sure where they are either. I did loan out a pair at one stage, my better quality ones, and I'm hoping I got them back, because I honestly do not remember. I imagine I got them back. They're just lost in all the stuff. All the stuff from when I closed up our shop and brought it home and never had anywhere to put it to bring it out of the boxes. Right, yep, that will work fine. And I'm not sure exactly what colours I'm going to end up with on this. I haven't taken too much note, so it'll be interesting to see what we get. Now I'm interested also to see how the glue does with this thinner fabric. Right, I don't know whether you've noticed, it may be hard to pick up in camera, but I'm avoiding gluing on where the folds are going to be. I just like there to be a little bit of movement, so it has a bit of give and take when you do go to fold it. It makes life a little bit easier. Right, hopefully I'm still on camera here. I keep bringing things closer to me and then it's like, oops, don't do that. Be off camera. And I'm just going to flip that over. So I've ended up with not a lot of colour on this one, but that's okay. It's kind of like the complete opposite to this bold bright, and this is more muted, a little bit more colourful. But yeah, I think they're both going to be really pretty. So again, I'm going to go in and trim my corners. Again, I think I was working off camera. I do apologise. So it was quite funny. I was talking to my mum. If you watch this, Mum, hi. Yesterday, and she says she gets to know more about what I'm up to through watching my videos than she does by talking to me, which I thought was quite funny. Because we don't talk every day. We talk once a week, maybe. Sometimes it's a little longer than that. And yeah, so the videos I do every weekday, so I'd naturally talk about what I'm up to that day or stuff. So things that just get forgotten, or you know, they're not super important. so when I'm talking with my mum, I'm sort of giving all the highlights or the lowlights, what's gone wrong, what's gone right, what's exciting. And all those daily bits and pieces I chat about on the video, of course, are long gone from, you know, needing to tell mum. So yeah, hoping to see mum on Friday, but my stepdad's not very well at the moment, so we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he'll be a lot better by then. But yeah, I'll give her a ring on Thursday and see how he is and whether it's safe to go. I don't know if it's COVID. I think it's probably more just some sort of tummy bug or something, but don't know. But my birthday's on Monday, so I don't really want to risk catching anything and having that on my birthday, because I think that would be not much fun at all. And I know Mum wouldn't be very happy if I ended up sick either. Right. So far the glue seems to be doing well on this fabric. I can feel the coldness of it through the fabric, which I couldn't through the velvet, but it doesn't seem to be seeping through. As I said, it's a while since I've done a fabric cover with glue, so I was just hoping my memory was correct, that it actually works quite well, and it seems to be doing so. And I might just use the same grey paper for this interior of this one as well. Why cut into another bit of scrapbook paper when I think the grey will work in fine with the colours of this fabric. This one I can probably get away with my smaller book corners because it's a lot thinner, but I will have to see whether they fit or not. So I've done a little bit better on the corners with this one, but they are a little jaggedy with potential fraying, so definitely book corners. And even if I didn't have those issues like gaps or frays, I would still use book corners in most instances. I didn't on my Junk Journal July one because I used the packing tape, which is another cool way to cover over any blemishes or potential for things to come apart. Right. So I'm thinking I make this the cover, or do I make this the front cover and then put a focal image on there? I think I might do it that way round. So grab back my paper. Probably not the best paper to use, but I think it will be fine. And this one is the bigger one, so I need a bigger piece of paper. I'm just going to do the same thing again, mark in pencil where I want to cut it. Just get my glue out the way for a moment, my scissors, and the other cover. And everything else. Right, and where's my, so I think I'll cut this one first. I don't know what I'd do without a gridded cutting mat. It's just so useful. And I didn't used to use one. This was actually my husband's. And I've kind of appropriated it, shall we say. Right, it's roughly there, so I'll go about there. And he hasn't needed to use it, so it's a happy win, I guess. Right. Oh, the other exciting thing I have to tell you is I had been buying up some old postcards from Trade Me, which is like an auction site here in New Zealand. And I got my second lot, arrived within a week, the second lot that I bought. which was fantastic, but I hadn't received the first lot, and I trust the seller, so I knew it wasn't an issue that he hadn't sent or was, you know, being deceitful or anything. But they didn't turn up, and yesterday they finally turned up 3 weeks after they were sent. I mean, just utterly ridiculous that they should take so long. They shouldn't have taken so long. That's our postal system for you. It's not so great these days. It was a bigger package, but that shouldn't matter. But yeah, super happy because they were my first pick of the postcards that he had for sale, and I was sad that if they were lost and, you know, never turned up, then there's that history that's gone. And there's some quite old ones there. There's I think it's 1913 postcard. There's one more recent. It's 1985, I think, which is a Disneyland one. But yeah, lots of super old ones. The first batch of ones that predominantly didn't have writing on the back, and the second batch I got were ones with writing on the back, which I love. I specifically got those ones because of the writing on the back. But all of them I plan on scanning the backs of them for use in digitals. So that's exciting. And I want to buy some more, but I'm just need to save my money for shopping on Friday, and then if I've got some left over, I can go back on and buy up more, because this guy's got heaps and heaps and heaps of postcards, and he's got them for different prices. I like to buy the ones that are 50 cents each. Cheapskate that I am. Not really, I'm just a bargain hunter. That's a much nicer term, isn't it, than cheapskate. I'm a bargain hunter. Right, there we go. So we have 2 covers done. So this one hopefully will be ready to fold. So now the tricky part is finding where those folds are. And that's going to lift a bit. I mustn't have got the glue down very well. That's interesting. This could be a little problematic, but just throw some more glue at it and hope for the best. It might be just that I missed a spot, or that it dried before I could stick it down. So we'll call it my user error for now. And there's another patch down here. Also, I didn't get right to the edge, so that's another problem. There as well. So I was going to fold it, but now I've had to add more glue, so maybe I need to leave that. Or maybe I'll go ahead and risk it. I'll try from this end. I might have the same issue at this end. Now, just trying to work out where that fold is. It's there. Can be a bit tricky sometimes working out where the folds are. Yeah, and this paper is buckling. Oh, it's very thick. That is really thick. Yeah, I might have to do a bit of remedying on the paper here. And I think it's happening because of the thickness of the fabric. I've never used the velvet for a cover before, but I saw it there and it was like, oh, that will be pretty and lovely and tactile. But yeah, maybe it's not the best. Yeah, see, that paper's not reacting very well at all. Darn it. Darn it. I wonder if I can throw some more glue at it and that'll fix it. We'll give it a go. So this might end up being a little personal journal, because I have a feeling it's not going to be suitable for sale. It's going to be a bit wonky, a bit imperfect, or a lot imperfect. Oh yes, that's not really wanting to play ball. Okay, I'm going to set that aside and just give it a little moment. Actually, what I might do is grab out the book corners. Oops, sorry about the squeaky chair. Just trying to wrestle the box out of the trolley behind me of my binding supplies. And so I've got this size, which is the smaller size of book corner, which I've got in silver and gold. And then I've got these ones, which are a lot bigger, and they're sort of in a bronzy colour. I don't know that I've shown putting these on camera before. So let's see if I can go ahead and put these on. Hopefully they will fit. And they will. Right, with these bigger ones, I don't do it with the smaller ones, but with the bigger ones I like to put glue inside them. But a different type of glue to what I've used on camera before. Sorry, I'm reaching over there. And I've got this B7000 glue, which I buy online, and I keep a clip on it as I use it to roll the glue down to the top. It is an alcohol-based glue again, and I haven't used it for ages, so hopefully it's still good. Ugh, trying to get the cap off. It's got a very fine nozzle. Oh gosh, the cap's like glued on or something. Come on. Sorry, I was about to take a drink of my cuppa too. And it's cold. Ugh. Oh gosh. Yeah, there's glue all stuck. So it's got this pin in the cap that goes down inside it, and it's the glue around the top of the pin that was sort of gluing it shut. So I go in here with this glue, and as I said, I'm hoping it's still all right. Am I going to get anything out? I might need to fold that top down a bit more. As I said, it's been quite a while since I've used this. So give it another roll down, and it is slowly starting to come out. And I often use this for like fine die cuts and things as well, just because it's got such a fine nozzle. Hope this glue is still good. It is coming out, but don't even know if it's still going to be sticky. But anyway, if it's just for me, it's not going to matter too much. And it is pongy. It's the pongiest glue I've got. Right, whoops. Trickiest part here is getting it down over the paper. And then just crimping it down in place. Like so. So on the smaller book corners, I don't worry about the glue, but I do on these bigger ones. Make sure it gets over the paper there. And then just a pair of pliers. These are jewellery pliers, so they're smaller than, you know, what you might get out of your husband's garage or something. But regular pliers will work just as well. They're just bigger and heavier to use is all, but still do exactly the same thing. Right, so I've got quite a gap, if you can see that. See that gap in the corner there? So this is going to help disguise that. And I love the look of the book corners. I think they look super cool. And to actually be honest, these bigger ones are a lot easier to apply to. The smaller ones tend to shoot off at angles, and I'm forever like pushing in the one side, then pushing in the other, and until eventually it squares up on the corner. It drives me a bit batty sometimes. And just when I think I've got the technique right so that it doesn't do that, the next time I put one on, it goes awry as well. So I still have the same battle. So I haven't perfected the technique for putting the small ones on. It just takes, I'm going to have to deal with that glue. It's not going to allow me to shut the lid now. Yes, I haven't perfected the technique on the small book corners, but I do get there in the end. Right, so there we go with our book corners. Look how lovely that is. This would be super lovely if it wasn't for the paper issue. But yeah, it's totally lifting up, buckling in all sorts of places. I also think too, because this there's double layers of fabric like in the corners. So it's a thick fabric to begin with, and then it's got a double layer, and then it's got no fabric in the middle. So yeah, so the paper itself is not sitting completely flat, which is allowing it to move and buckle. So bear that in mind. If you're using a thick fabric, maybe it might be better to use fabric on the inside as well. That might have been a better option. But I still think it's going to be a super sweet wee journal, and by the time I've got signatures in there, it'll be lovely for me. Let's just say that, it'll be lovely for me. Okay, so might as well put book corners on this one while I'm here. And hopefully this one behaves better with the paper. One more. So I might as well do this so you can see me fight with the smaller book corners. So with these, I've found to go in about halfway along one side and crimp, and then go in halfway along the other while holding my thumb on that one, and then crimping that side, and then doing that, and then coming back to do the inner part. That seems to be the most successful, but it still does like to go out this way. And then I've got to go in and sort of adjust it and hold it and fiddle. But that one actually worked really well. So it's going to prove me a liar now, isn't it? It's going to go, what are you talking about, Belinda? We're super easy and go on without any issues. And then poke its tongue at me. Yep, seems to be working so much better. Something that is actually going better on camera than it does in real life. What is the world coming to? That one pushed out a little bit. Oops, did you hear that? My phone went beep. Or not a beep, a tuneful beep, I guess. Alert notification for something. I keep forgetting to put my phone, the one that is my actual phone as opposed to the one I film with. Keep forgetting to put it on Do Not Disturb when I do my videos. So far I haven't been interrupted by a phone call, which I think is just good fortune. But I expect it will happen one day if I keep forgetting to put it on Do Not Disturb. Right, there we go. So we've got book corners on both covers. You see that? Super pretty. Super pretty. And then those are the bronzy or brassy ones. I actually really like the brassy ones. They are probably my preference over the silver or the gold, but because I've only got the two sizes, Right, now I'm going to attempt to fold this, and the paper is buckling. Oh dear, I haven't experienced this much trouble with the paper buckling before. Not sure what's going on. But just because I'm having issues, at least you're seeing how to do it and how you can make one for yourself. And if it's not for sale, then it's not about being perfect. This one I think has fared a lot better though, so this one might come out okay. We shall see. Right, so all I've got to do now is find some papers. But I'm not sure about doing that on camera because that's probably going to take me a little while to sort out by the time I grab papers from here, there and everywhere. So what I might do is end the video here, and I'll post images of the covers with the signature pages in over on Instagram and in my Facebook group Visual Vibes. So if you'd like to come over to Visual Vibes and join in on the fun there, there's the first freebie went up, was it last week or the week before? So that's available for you to grab, and it's only for people in the Facebook group. So you can head over and grab that. You can also, in the group, you can post what you've been making, share pictures of what you've been doing, whether it's related to what I've been doing or not. Although I do love to see what you've been doing if you're doing a project that I've demonstrated or been doing on video. So I'm going to call that a Trash Craft Tuesday video, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye for now.